The Nicobar pigeon is a pigeon found on small islands and in coastal regions from the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, India, east through the Malay archipelago, to the Solomons and Palau. It is the only living member of the genus Calwainus and the closest living relative of the extinct dodo, and extinct Rodriguez solitaire. Description: it is a large pigeon, measuring 40 centimeters, 16 in length. The head is gray, like the upper neck plumage, which turns into green and copper hackles. The tail is very short and pure white. The rest of its plumage is metallic green. The cere of the dark bill forms a small blackish knob. The strong legs and feet are dull red. The irides are dark. Females are slightly smaller than males. They have a smaller bill knob, shorter hackles and browner underparts. Immature birds have a black tail and lack almost all iridescence. There is hardly any variation across the bird's wide range. Even the Palau subspecies CN palauensis has merely shorter neck hackles, but is otherwise almost identical. It is a very vocal species, giving a low-pitched repetitive call. Behavior and ecology. The Nicobar pigeon's breeding range encompasses the Andaman and Nicobar Islands of India, the Mergui archipelago of Myanmar, offshore islands of southwestern Thailand, peninsular Malaysia, southern Cambodia and Vietnam, and many of the small islands between Sumatra, the Philippines and the Solomon Islands. On Palau, the only distinct subspecies CN palauensis is found. The Nicobar pigeon roams in flocks from island to island, usually sleeping on offshore islets where no predators occur, and spends the day in areas with better food availability, not shying away from areas inhabited by humans. Its food consists of seeds, fruit and buds, and it is attracted to areas where grain is available. A gizzard stone helps to grind up hard food items. Its flight is quick, with regular beats and an occasional sharp flick of the wings, as is characteristic of pigeons in general. Unlike other pigeons, groups tend to fly in columns or single file, not in a loose flock. The white tail is prominent in flight when seen from behind, and may serve as a sort of tail light, keeping flocks together when crossing the sea at dawn or dusk. The young bird's lack of a white tail is a signal of their immaturity, clearly visible to conspecifics, to an adult Nicobar pigeon. It is obvious at a glance which flock members are neither potential mates, nor potential competitors for mates, nor old enough to safely guide a flock from one island to another. The species nests in dense forest on offshore islets, often in large colonies. It builds a loose stick nest in a tree. It lays one elliptical, faintly blue-tinged white egg. In 2017, several individual Calwainus nicobarica were sighted in the Kimberley region of Western Australia, with a juvenile captured at Ardaloon, 1 Arm Point, near Broome, the first time the bird has been sighted on the Australian mainland. Distribution and habitat. On the Nicobar Islands, which are referred to in its common and scientific names, the most significant colony in our time was found on Bati Malv, a remote wildlife sanctuary between Car Nicobar and Teresa. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami caused massive damage on the Nicobar Islands, and it is still not quite clear to what extent Bati Malv was affected. But while everything on some islets in the Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve was destroyed, Bati Malv Lighthouse, a skeletal tower a dozen meters high, standing a few meters ASL at the highest point of the low-lying island, was little damaged and put back in operation by the survey ship Insan Hayek less than 1 month after the disaster. An April 2007 survey by the Indian Coast Guard vessel ICGS Vikram found the lighthouse tower totally covered in vines. indicating rampant regeneration of vegetation, but perhaps also that damage to the island's forest was severe, as a cover of creeping plants is typical of early succession stages. While a photo of the lighthouse taken before the tsunami shows rather mature forest. Conservation. Nicobar pigeons are hunted in considerable numbers for food, and also for their gizzard stone, which is used in jewelry. The species is also trapped for the local pet market, but as it is on CITES Appendix I, such trade is generally illegal. Internationally, captive breeding is able to supply the birds demanded by zoos, where this attractive and unusual bird is often seen. Direct exploitation of the species, even including the illegal trade, might be sustainable on its own. However, its available nesting habitat is decreasing. The offshore islets which it requires are often logged for plantations, destroyed by construction activity, or polluted by nearby industry or harbors. Also, increased travel introduces predators to more and more of the breeding sites, and colonies of the Nicobar pigeon may be driven to desert such locations or be destroyed outright. Though the bird is widely distributed and in some locations very common, even on small Palau it is still reasonably plentiful. With an estimated 1,000 adult birds remaining, its long-term future is increasingly jeopardized. For these reasons, the IUCN considers C. nicobarica a near-threatened species.